I had a big friend. That was when I now finally confirmed that, yes, this man told me something. A big friend, a senior police officer. More like close to IG. And he's from the West. He said, my brother, among the 3 candidates, the only one that I have never intervened in my position as a very strong police investigator at the highest level of police investigation. The only person that have never called me, or I don't know personally, that have never asked me to intervene to save one criminal or the other is P2B. The rest, that it is their personal corruption that is the problem. Their own albatross. That when the person, the head is personally corrupt, that you never see them fight corruption. Every other person under them will just be corrupt. The system will continue like that. And the senior man told me how he has moved his children away from the country because of this kind of situation, and that they are not likely to come back. That it pains him that he took care of his mother when his mother was getting old. When Nigeria was fairly enough, during this Obasanjo time and all that. But today, that nobody will take care of him like that in Nigeria because his children have left him. That is because of this kind of leaders. That the only person who has never been involved in maybe calling him to defend one crime or the other is P2B. That was what this man from Southwest was telling me. Senior police officer. He said you benefit though if
Hi guys, I hope this video
2010 in Nigerian law school, Lagos. That was where I was posted then. And I had a class, I had a roommate. I think my room was rather 406 or so. I had a roommate. One was right there inside my room. His name is Arinze Amobi. He's a big lawyer now. He lives in Lagos. The other one, his name is Elvis Omojako. Incidentally, we've been working together. He was our next door neighbor, so he always run in and share from my newspaper. Back then in school, I read a lot and I write a lot. There was no internet per se. There was no social media like we have it today. So dissemination of information was basically from hardcore newspapers. So I was always buying newspaper. If you wake up in the morning, people will go and newspaper vendors will run to my room, drop the copies. Even if I'm sleeping, when I wake up, I will read them. Then I usually deposit money for newspapers. So everybody rally around me. Chairman, they pick their newspaper, pick their information and go. And I had a lot of friends then. But these 2 particular guys, they came from Anambra. And they had a story to tell. They were not P2B fans so when they came. I came from Port Harcourt. They came from Anambra. I've not been to Anambra before. So everybody were talking about governors, everything, leadership, and all that. So for them, they were very young, very, very younger. And they were talking about how P2B had chased all their leaders away from government house and from everything government. They are no longer sharing money. Even as they come from this law school now, they are not sharing money. And they were trying to catch up with some big boys in Lagos that are from their place. They mentioned the Costa-Rica, they mentioned a lot of other senior men from their place. They wanted to catch up. But of course, they don't belong to P2B camp. but they don't also hate him because they have their own story which they kept aside. They didn't want to tell me the good side. But they were interested to see their brothers who live in Lagos and to connect with the big boys so that they can, as youths, they needed to catch up with their future. There were a lot of uncertainties. They also needed bread too, because government was no longer sharing bread at the time, from what they said. Now, one day they got a message that P2B was coming to Lagos and he was organizing a gathering of all Anambra people that are in private sectors that lives in Lagos. He wants to see them. All the people that went to law school with me that year know this story very well. The man gathered them in one hall around VI or so. He said he wants to talk with them. They had a time. These my boys now went to the venue to go and hustle because they've been looking for some contacts. They want to catch up with some of their brothers there. You know, students from law school. Everybody that went to law school knows how everybody needs to be connected. You need to start working hard. You need to be sure of your future. And you also need immediate bread. All right. They took off that day to the venue for that gathering. Because of Lagos showed up now, they got there late. The program have started. In fact, the governor have started talking. They say P2B in his characteristics was addressing the people and talking to them about how to synergize with one another and connect. And then he cited some people far away outside the window. People were peeping into the venue from window. And the man, P2B, now asked the brother, who are those people at the window? I'm seeing some youths. Are they not part of this program? Why are they outside? You know, due to protocol now, they have shut down because they have closed the door since the governor have entered and is addressing the people. The man insisted, no, they open the door for them. I want all the people out there to come inside. They are the reason why we are here. They are the reason why we are here. Allow them. Do the protocol, go and open door for them. That was how my boys entered though. They opened door for them. He asked them, come to the front side, come. He brought them around. Are you all students? They say yes. No, come. These are your brothers. These are billionaires. These are the owner of the state. You are the future. You are the reason why we are here. Why would they keep you outside? Bring them. Connect. Look at Costa Rica. Look at this one. Only this one money can buy the state. This one. Look at that. Go and collect their numbers. Relate with them. This is the purpose of this meeting. We need to be... this was how these boys got connected though. Apart from knowing all the big boys they met, they and then when they found out they were in school, because there were many of them that went there from the law school that day. One man, whether Kosaris gave them 1 million, another one money bag, donated 1 million again to them, another one gave them 500, another one gave them laptops, another one gave them so many gifts. They came back rich. They came back home rich and connected with network. They networked. Poor people, oh, this man made them to network with people they've been dreaming to see since. These guys came back. Before down, they'll be telling me how to be does not allow politicians to share money. Their leaders are not sharing money. They are not, everybody has gone back to their business. The man was operating a government of probity in governance, very prudent government, very slim. His convoy is either 2 or 3, most. Sometimes only him. They now gave me one story. Similar thing that happened. They said before P2B came to their place as governor, he was living in UK, a civilized place, of course. my best country, and the country where we retire if this country don't want to respect themselves. The man P2B came in, met a place that is violent. People were political violence, thuggery, everything. Everybody was showing themselves. They want to, I'm stronger than you. Everybody is throwing their weights. P2B came, stooped to conquer. So there was one story. The P2B called a meeting in Anambra. This guy also told me this. It's not P2B, it's the people that were not his fans. If you want to know a man, listen to those who are not his fans, who are not necessarily his fans. The story, the positive thing they have to say about the person. They now told me that on this occasion, the guy was driving to a venue. He called a meeting of all the big boys, all the political leaders in Anambra. He called them for a meeting. So he was driving down along their state capital, Oka, that he now had a convoy behind him on his way to that venue. P2B cleared, told his people, his own small convoy to clear. Big men are in town. As soon as they cleared, one of the Ubers was going with a very long convoy that is over 50 vehicles, and saw the governor convoy parked one corner there. They say he was using one of the lowest cars then. The guy cleared and came and revised back to ask governor, I hope there is no problem. That P2B responded, no, you are the owners of the state. You are the reason. I'm your servant. So you know your own convoy is longer, my own is smaller. It's better to allow you to go so that I will follow you behind, or I will come there. Your own convoy is longer now, my brother. I'm supposed to wait for you. The man said, oh, your vehicle, I thought your vehicle spoiled. This one, he said, no. Because that you join him. That this guy was using wisdom like this to, he downs the tension in the states. The guys who were supposed to make problem with him, they cannot even make problem with him, because if you start, it's your community people that will fight you. He stooped to conquer. I read books on that philosophy of stooping to. He stooped to conquer. And I understand that principle very, very well. For someone to introduce it in governance and practice it, downs the tension. There was no violence. He was not collecting any. The other one, they told me that they say he was not collecting what they call security votes. All this one that governors pack billions, and are max sweat for themselves. This guy will gather the security vote, declare it. He has the number of all the communities in their place and share to the. He has money allocated every month for the head of the vigilante. He bought buses for all the vigilante groups in the communities and brought permanent peace for them. He was using his security vote to share to community heads and the vigilante every month, that the money belongs to them. The money of government should be used to help the people. and not for himself. They also told me how he rejected an offer by Commissioner for Land that they have allocated land for him, that's how they do to every governor. He said, no. I can buy myself land and I don't need it. What do I need the land for? Rather, for the first time in history, these guys told me too. They are here, I'm not lying, I've called their names. They told me that P2B built what they call industrial area, an area designated for industry, and brought powered it, special power. This industrial area created a lot of jobs, that a lot of industries that we don't hear about, they are not on the news, are built there. That for the first time, that I know that people can, as I then know, I don't know now, that people can finish school in their states and get job right there, apply to companies there, get job, start working, establish their family, and live on. That land in their area is now has skyrocketed because of the development of the governor. Then, because of the development, that this guy built industrial area, reminiscent of what we had then in Port Harcourt, Transamadi industrial area, where he had companies, where youth had hope. Today, industrial area have been taken over by either banks or churches. In the Port Harcourt, but they say that one. So one of them who was close to Innocent Motors now gave me a very touching story of what P2B did for Innocent Motors. That Innocent Motors was trying to establish, when he was trying to establish his factory, there was no way. There was no way. He tried to import some equipment for that factory. The governor took him to the president, then prevailed on him. They allowed him to import what he wanted to import without any of these encumbrances. Yes, all these custom encumbrances, custom problem. The governor personally intervened, brought Innocent on board, released money from government in advance for Innocent to produce vehicles for all the ministries and all the commissioners and everybody in government, including their traditional rulers. They bought directly and bought in advance, paid him in advance the money that made that company to kick off and started employing people, developed the industry. That's automobile industry today we know as Innocent. That it was P2B that single-handedly, midwife it, took that, and now look at the thousands and thousands of people that Innocent is employing today. That we are only hearing of Innocent. Those boys told me that we are only hearing of Innocent. There are other multiple companies there that are producing a lot of things that are servicing most West African countries and beyond. That from Anambra, they used to export things. They take things away. So that's why people could finish school there, get a job, and move on. So that was about that. For the first time, the schools too were giving computers. Then we don't use the of computers. He said he introduced computers in every school. He had bought them computers. Like their schools were behaving like Oyibo school then. But the most important thing was there was prudence in governance. There was no all this profligacy and all this wastage in government. We are not distributing bread like mad people. I'm telling you. And he was using one, whether he was using one Peugeot or so. His convoy was 2 or 3. They were not rubbing it on. Being in government was no longer attractive, but opening a company and businesses was the in thing. Not if you are not in government, you won't have money. So the guy made it that, in fact, industry was the in thing, and there was a lot of jobs. There was no hangers on around government house seeking for cheap bread to collect. Security reduced, and they say it was very brutal. Insecurity. It was very, very, very brutal. What are you doing? Are you not supposed to be walking? Go. What do you want to walk? Let me take you to where you walk. What are committing? No. Police, do your work. He will sit down with the security agencies and those vigilantes, and they will map out strategy, and they will wipe. They will wipe every crime, every criminality. They wiped. That before the guy came, the place was no good area. But because of his attitude and everything, and the way he was conducting himself, the way he stooped to conquer, there was no political tension, security improved, businesses were going on, and the guy left as he eventually left as governor without, all this madness of acquisition of wealth, or this criminal acquisition of public wealth. He was already wealthy, doing well in the private sector in the UK before he came, according to them. So when I'm talking about, I'm not a politician, and I will never be a politician. Well, we are talking about human being, the kind of country we want. We should be talking about not criminals who will come in and just create tension, mess the country up. Look at how everybody is running away from the country. I've even told my children, don't even think of coming back to this place. There's no need. I'll be coming. If I get old, if the situation continues like this, don't bother. Allow me return here. But with the kind of character I heard about P2B, not that I know him, that people be saying, and I heard it from not people that were his fans. The best kind of testimony comes from not those who are naturally your fans, but those who may not necessarily be your fans, but they have something good to speak about you. So that's why you see the spontaneous love from many people. Then there was no internet, there was no all this social. If social media had been then, I think most of the things he did would have been there, would have still been there, because social media don't lie. But it was not like that. So, my people, let me go back to sleep. This was what happened. I think I'm forgetting a lot of things they told me, but so many good things. A man that came like to work in third world country, like Oyibo people. Like Oyibo people. When you see people love the man today, they have their reason. They know why. Nobody wants to associate with criminals. Deep down in your heart. Okay, before the 2023 election, I had a big friend. That was when I now finally confirmed that, yes, this man told me something. A big friend, a senior police officer. More like close to IG. And he's from the West. He said, my brother, among the 3 candidates, the only one that I have never intervened in my position as a very strong police investigator at the highest level of police investigation. The only person that have never called me, or I don't know personally, that have never asked me to intervene to save one criminal or the other is P2B. The rest, that it is their personal corruption. That is the problem. Their own albatross. That when the person, the head is personally corrupt, But you never see them fight corruption. Every other person under them will just be corrupt. The system will continue like that. And the senior man told me how he has moved his children away from the country because of this kind of situation, and that they are not likely to come back. That it pains him that he took care of his mother when his mother was getting old, when Nigeria was fairly enough during this Obasanjo time and all that. But today, that nobody will take care of him like that in Nigeria because his children have left him. That is because of this kind of leaders. That the only person who has never been involved in maybe calling him to defend one crime or the other is P2B. That was what this man from Southwest was telling me. Senior police officer. He said he will benefit though if Abado becomes president. No problem. And he will even get position. He will get position. He will get a better. Is that all there is? That's not all there is. What will happen to the insecurity in the country? There will be no deliberateness to good governance. They will never do it. That he knows them. He knows them. That the only person that from all the security records that can put this. That was why P2B won in Abuja in all the security formation. Go to the military, the police, everywhere, even Asorock. Because deep down in their hearts, they know. They know. The man will not hurt you. He will not, he's not going to, he's not going to create tension. Economic tension, security tension, and aloofness, as if you don't care, and madness in acquisition of wealth. People will continue to amass wealth as if they will live here forever. Well, that's all I have to say. Let me just leave this for now. Cheers.